screen glowed softly in the dimly lit room. The cursor blinked. A moment of hesitation. Then, decisiveness. Somewhere in that moment, Rukaiah Edhah made a choice. One that would shape her future. Before she co-founded Masari Tech, before she built 5 AI-driven software projects, before she became a force in the intersection of technology and sustainability, she was just a girl with an idea that refused to be ignored. This is the story of how she brought that idea to life.
Salam everyone, and welcome to Muslimas in Motion Professional Pursuits. I'm Hawa, your host, and here we celebrate the achievements of Muslim women while exploring strategies to balance the life you dream of with the life you're living today. Today's guest, Rukaiah Edhah, is a rising star in tech and sustainability. From founding a private label brand on Amazon during her gap year to co-founding Masari Tech, an AI-driven sustainability company, Rukaiah's journey is a masterclass in resilience, innovation, and aligning passion with purpose. Let's dive into her inspiring story. All right. So, Assalamu alaikum, Rukaiah. It's so nice to finally get to speak with you. I've always seen your work online, and I'm truly excited for this interview. How are you today?
I'm doing amazing, and I'm really excited for it.
So, I'm really excited. We have a lot to cover today. I always like to ask my guests a question before we get started, which is, you're stranded on a deserted island. What 3 things are you bringing with you on that island?
Oh, wow. I like that. What 3 things I will bring with me? So there will be food and water.
Well, I don't know, because it's deserted. So actually, to be fair, honestly, a lot of people have asked that, and it's kind of hard because people try to choose between like the water and the food and the this and the that. So I don't know. Maybe I'm being a little too tough. Maybe I should include food and water. But just in case there isn't, what would you bring?
Then food and water. But if there is, then take with me a yoga mat. I will take with me a book. And the 3rd thing, a pillow or a tent. What do you think?
Well, I like the pillow because we all need that touch of like humanity, like that comfortable touch. And then maybe hopefully on the island there's like big banana leaves that you can kind of make a tent with. So
Okay.
I like that.
Cool.
Cool. All right. So we'd like to start off by asking, tell me about your journey. What sparked your drive to innovate? How did you manage to carve a space for yourself across tech, sustainability, and entrepreneurship?
Okay, so I'm Rukaiah, and I am a computer science student at Mercy University. I also have a minor in business. I'm a junior, and in my first 2 years of college, I was able to create more than 5 software products where I played both roles as a product manager, and a software engineer. And now I am the founder of a startup, Masari Tech. So yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. So you said 5 where you were product manager and software engineer. Could you tell me a little bit about those?
Yeah, so they were part of programs that I was a part of. So yeah, we kind of have in the first program that I was part of, we had to build 3 projects, and we had to do that with a team. So we needed a project manager role, but also our main focus was software engineering, because this is the program is about software engineering. So that's what I did. And then during my sophomore year, I was part of other fellowship where we had to build 5 AI full stack projects. And we also had a challenge to reach 1,000 users with our final one. And we were able to do that in just 2 weeks.
That's amazing. So as somebody who's had both sides of the coin kind of experience, right? First, I'd like to ask, which one do you prefer? Do you prefer product management or software engineering?
I love both, but I prefer product management more.
Nice. So how do you feel like that kind of glimpse into that product management space has allowed you to be a better software engineer and vice versa?
Yes, but also because I kind of have an entrepreneurial spirit. And I think that with product management, I can channel that and I can innovate and do whatever I have to do. But I also have a good organizational skills. So I'm the one who always manages the tasks, makes sure that everybody is making or doing their tasks and making their part. So yeah, that's why I really love it.
Yeah, that's important. And sometimes it's needed because a lot of times, depending on who you ask, sometimes software engineers kind of need that. I mean, it's important to have like a sense of organization and structure. Like, yeah, everybody likes to like have the memes where they complain about product managers, but they can also be very important in the sense of like kind of keeping everything kind of, I guess, aligned in a way. Because I mean, the reality is when you're a software engineer and you enjoy what you're doing, you feel like you could do it forever. But in the real business world, you do not have forever. Likely, you probably only have 2 weeks in a sprint to do stuff. So it's important to keep things on track. Now, I am saying this. Do I agree deep down inside? That remains to be seen as a software engineer. But I think it's really cool that you were able to have both sides and both perspectives. So speaking of perspectives, you took a very unconventional path by launching a business during your gap year. So tell me about that. Like, what was the business? What was the experience like? And how did it redefine your approach to risk and resilience?
I love that question. So during my gap year, like what I wanted to do was to try everything I can. So even before I did that, I played with every Adobe tool you can think of. I did Photoshop, I did video editing, I did everything just to make sure that I will major in something that I really like. I already know that I have passion for entrepreneurship and tech since I was 8, but I just wanted to try things. And then with my business, that was the big thing that I did. And I really took it seriously. I invested a good amount of money on it. I invested a good amount of time. And I've learned so much, even though that I was reading a lot of business books in that period, the experience was something else. And I've learned how, especially that I was a solopreneur. So I learned how to source products, how to do market research, how to negotiate, how to hire people. I usually like hired freelancers. And yeah, I've learned so much, but it's also gave me that edge of feeling confident to take risks. And at the same time, it's built my resilience. And it also showed me other parts of myself that I did not know that they existed, if that makes sense.
No, that totally does. And I really like that. I feel like a lot of times, especially in like engineering and STEM fields, we feel like, okay, we have to take this path and this is the only path it looks like. Go to school, graduate in 4 years, just follow the most conventional way. Graduate, get your job, whatever. But like you said, you've learned so much from that experience. And you have a lot of insight that a lot of people just plain and simple don't have, especially when it comes to building your own product or building your own business. I mean, experience is the best teacher. Like you said, you can read as many books as you like, but nothing will teach you like actually doing it. For myself, right? I feel like I learn the best when I'm actually in the trenches, getting my hands dirty, doing things. And whether that's relevant to business or to engineering, right? To building things. Honestly, while it's good to read documentation and books on certain subjects, the best teacher is just going in and writing the API, creating your own database schema. Like these are the things that will make that knowledge kind of stick in your head. And whether that's engineering, business, whatever it is, cooking, you know what I mean? Or the best example is swimming. You can watch as many YouTube videos you want. You can read as many books on swimming as you want. But until you get in the water, how are you going to know how to swim? You're not probably. Right.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. I like that. So with that being your first venture, what was it, by the way?
It was a toys brand. It was for kids.
Oh, wow.
Especially that I had a little brother. So it was really cool. So it's kind of, it wasn't my choice fully. It was based on what products are performing well, what people are buying, and how much money I had to invest. So the market decided more what brand I will be building, and I went with the data. And it was successful, actually. I was able to achieve 25% return on investment. And it's because all the decisions that I was making was data driven.
I love that. And that's a really important point too. A lot of times people they get up and say, oh, I don't know. People are just going to get up and have a business, right? But you don't know what you're going to sell. You have no plan. You have no market research. And you really don't even know, like, a lot of people don't even know things like, okay, like, how much is this market worth? How much, if I start selling XYZ, if I start selling, I don't know, like pencil bags today, what is the potential market? What is the worth of that entire market? Like, people don't know things like that. So they just go out, they kind of do it for a couple of weeks and they're like, oh no, I'm not getting any sales. I guess I'm bad at this, or I guess I'll give up. But like, you went, you did your homework, you did the research, and that's why you were able to be successful. Like, nobody's saying you can't do what makes you happy or pursue things what you want, but you also have to be realistic. If you want to actually make money, when you're doing your business, you have to do the work, do the research, look at, okay, what works, what is out there, what is there a demand for? So even if maybe it's not exactly what you want to do, maybe there's a way that to kind of morph it or reach an untapped market, mix it into something that you want to do. And then also at the same time, something that people want, right? So I think that's really super cool and important and a good thing to add, because it's one thing to just jump out and start. But I feel like there should be almost like a benchmark, like a guide. You should have an outline for what you want to do. Like, do what you want, but do it guided. Do it like, approach it with the appropriate amount of research and whatnot. I think that's super important. But yeah, that's honestly really cool. So I mentioned that you have a business, so you have a startup actually, and it has a lot to do with sustainability, AI at Masari Tech, right?
Mm-hmm.
So tell me the story behind that. Like, how did that begin?
It was actually funny because I was focused on getting an internship. That was my plan. And my co-founder reached out to me, telling me about this idea. And it spoke to my heart. I saw there is a potential and I loved the idea. So I decided to join her. And after that, we've been doing market research, making sure that our idea, again, will be successful. We want to do data-driven decisions. And yeah, it's still in the early stages. We've been only doing that for 3 months. But I know that my co-founder had this idea for a while, almost for like 2 years maybe. But it's just an idea that she wasn't able to take actions towards it. But now that we are a team and that we have a clear path, clear goals, we are excited. And especially now that we were accepted to one of the programs. It's the Founders program. And we are excited. It will actually start after 2 days. So, yeah.
I love that. Oh, that's so exciting. So do you mind telling us what the app is? Like, what's it about?
Okay, so Masari Tech is a company that will create multiple products. It's not only one product. And they will be focused on fashion tech and promoting sustainability. At the beginning, we were planning on doing a body scanning technology to help reduce returns so that the end user, the customers, you can see how they fit in your body. Exactly. And that was the idea that we really wanted to do. But then as we were doing our market research and reading more reports, especially about where the fashion industry will go in the next few years, we've noticed that we will actually have we had a different idea that we will be creating, which will be a retail platform, but for excess stock that brands have. Actually, I have some data that I will share with you. So, for example, the fashion industry produces between 2.5 billion and 5 billion items of excess stock. So that's a lot of inventory. Yes. And our platform will sell these products, but we will also have other features like AI-powered curation. So you, the customer, can see the clothes that you will most likely to buy because AI is learning, your style is learning more about what you will buy or what you mostly likely will buy, especially that also the data told us that 82% of shoppers want AI to reduce their research time. And also 74% of them walk away from online purchases just because of the volume of choice. So that also tells us that this is an important feature to add to the platform. And yeah, especially that also there will be other legal things happening in Europe. So for example, brands will be required to report on the management of excess stock this year, and it will also be illegal to destroy unsold products in 2026. So brands will need to find a way to sell their excess stock. So that will be the first product that we will be building. And then maybe our second product will be the body scanning.
Oh, I really like that. Because, yeah, that's so important. I mean, we have all these I can imagine there's just so much waste because let's think about it. So I work in supply chain, and part of what I do or the software I work on is it's basically like supply chain planning. And so one of these things or components that's involved in that is forecasting, which kind of helps in itself reduce waste because the software is supposed to accurately predict how much inventory you're going to need in a store, in a warehouse, in a distribution center. So then that way you don't have too much overstock and you're not obviously like understocked sales that are lost that people could have bought but couldn't because the thing sold out too quickly. So I think this whole thing is really interesting to me because in spite of all of that, I mean, obviously not every company uses our stuff, and I'm not sure what other people are doing, but it's crazy how much just waste is just out there. And the fact that you guys are kind of like working towards improving that is a very huge thing because I don't really hear much about that. And you would think by now companies would think of this, but I guess when that's not your priority is making profits, obviously you don't care. So I think that's an amazing initiative that you guys are doing. Seriously. I mean, this is very exciting stuff. So a lot of times, with that being said, like sustainability, can be framed oftentimes as a corporate responsibility or maybe even a policy issue, but you're approaching it through this innovative lens. What do you think people misunderstand about sustainability in the tech space?
I think it's just because we don't maybe have, like, he was surprised when I told you how much clothes are there or access stock. So it's just maybe the lack of data and information that we have. And again, like Masari Tech, like the thing that I'm really excited about Masari Tech is that it's focused on fashion. And we know that fashion is one of the biggest industries that is creating waste. So that's what we want to do. And also to make brands happy, because there will be legal things happening. They will be unable to destroy their items, and we will help them still make profits.
They need the solution. Yeah.
And also make the end user. That's why we have the AI creation feature and other features that we are planning just to make the experience also enjoyable for the end user. And and also make the planet happy.
Yeah, that's amazing. No, seriously. That's super important. I love that. So what are some of the biggest challenges you might have faced trying to balance all of these things? I mean, it's an amazing initiative you're doing, but amazing things don't come the easiest sometimes. So what are some challenges that you guys may have faced, and what are some strategies that you use to overcome those?
So since we are still in the early stages, maybe there wasn't a lot of challenges that we've faced. But I think the biggest challenge that we have is because all of us are full-time students and we also want to build that business. And we are only 3. So it's just time management, I'm going to say, for now. But when we start building the tech and all that, maybe there will be a lot of challenges that we will face. But I think we will be able to solve them, especially that I was able to build my resilience with the other things that I've done in the past.
Yeah, I can imagine. Like all of that kind of set you up for now, which is honestly really amazing. So, with that, I'd like to make a little shift. So, balancing business, innovation, school, and your personal values can be kind of complicated sometimes. So, how do you stay grounded while pushing these boundaries in your industry and trying to make these new waves?
Okay, so the way I usually stay grounded is I love meditation, I love yoga. So I usually do these things. I usually take time off. So that really helps me. But also, I'm somebody who loves work.
Mhm.
I love work and I enjoy it so much, but also sometimes just taking some time off to reflect on things is really helpful. And sometimes the best ideas came during these moments. So
I love that. Have you ever faced moments in your career where your identity as a Muslim woman in tech created these challenges or opportunities for you, whether that be through networking or anything like that?
I think this podcast created an opportunity for me because it's for Muslim women in tech. But I've never faced any maybe negative experiences or anything like that. So yeah.
All right, salam everyone. It's Hawa. I'm here to remind you to take a quick little break. This is your reminder to hydrate, stretch, and unclench that jaw. Go ahead and straighten that back too. Because, we gotta maintain that good posture, ladies. I'm guilty of it too. Take a moment to take a deep breath, let it out. And yeah, cool. And by the way, while you're, taking in breaths and stretching, if you're looking for a cozy, productive space to co-work, connect, and vibe with other Muslim women, you need to check out Kahwa Collective. It's our monthly co-working session where we come together, whether online or in person, to get things done, build our cute little community, and just support each other's goals and dreams, and just a chill, welcoming space. No pressure, none of that awkward networking and genuine nonsense. Just good company, good vibes, and maybe a little caffeine. If you want in on this sisterly productivity action, or not so productive depending on the day, follow us on Instagram at Muslimas in Motion Pod to get more info and join the next session. I can't wait to see you guys there, inshallah. Okay, guys, back to regular programming. Well, that's good. Honestly, that's refreshing to hear because you don't always hear that, but I'm actually really glad. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So you've navigated multiple industries and you've kind of built something from the ground up a couple times, actually. Not kind of, but you have built something from the ground up. What advice would you give to young Muslim women who are looking to kind of step into the technical space, software engineering, product management, or just entrepreneurship?
First, to try things, and second, if you know that you are passionate about it, just do it. Especially with entrepreneurship, because it's a risk, and not a lot of people want to take that risk. But I always say, just do it. The worst case, you fail. Be friends with failure. Be fine. And the worst, again, case is that you will learn from it, and then you can take the learnings into your next venture or whatever you will be doing. And the best case, you will succeed and be the entrepreneur that you always want to be.
So looking ahead, right? What is your next big dream, whether that's sustainability, tech, or entrepreneurship?
So my next big dream is definitely entrepreneurship and holding Masari Tech to where we envision it to be, and also finish my degree.
Yay, inshallah. I can't wait. That's so exciting. I love that. That's an amazing thing. I pray that I'm really excited to see y'all's thing come to fruition, and I think it's amazing. I know you mentioned your co-founder reached out to you. Did you guys know each other from before or anything, or was that she just saw you on LinkedIn and was like, "Oh, let me just reach out"?
Yeah, that's what happened. So she saw me on LinkedIn and reached out, and then we had a meeting. She shared the idea more, and I loved it. I don't know if I mentioned that before, but since I was in high school, so many of my friends would tell me, go into fashion, be a fashion designer. Some of them would say modeling, things like that. But it did not align with my values. I did create more waste, obviously. But when she reached out to me with the idea of promoting sustainability, I was on it and I loved it.
That's amazing. And it's like, it's a perfect, like we mentioned earlier, it's the perfect blend between something that, I mean, mashallah, you look very good, like clothes wise. I love your outfit, everything. So it's like you're mixing something that you really are good at and feel good in, and then also something that actually benefits the earth and benefits us. Because it's said in our beautiful religion, right? Like we got to take care of the earth that Allah gave us. I mean, this is important. He didn't just give it to us to just destroy it and throw trash and things. I mean, especially like you said, billions of dollars of waste. I mean, that's just absurd. So the fact that you're even putting efforts towards something like this, I mean, I pray that it becomes a means of charity and sadaqah for you. Because I mean, this is big. Like it's the things that people are doing like behind the scenes, or quote unquote behind the scenes, because people are not talking about this enough. I think, or at least I'm not seeing it enough. Maybe I need to change what I'm looking at. But I think it remains to be said that, I mean, this is an important initiative, especially we live in an age with, let's be honest, a lot of people love fast fashion. They love Shein, Boohoo, all these stores. And it's great, but I mean, that's obviously we have a ways to go, because these things, TikTok shop, like these things have just become so normalized. And obviously no judgment, because sometimes it's a matter of you can't afford any other option. And, may Allah make it easy for, people in that situation. But if you can afford it, I suggest you don't buy from these things. I don't think they're doing anybody any good, really. And they're not great quality. And people even, God forbid, throw clothes away, which honestly, that was new to me. I didn't even know people threw clothes away until I think somebody had mentioned it offhandedly in college. And then it just never occurred to me people throw clothing away. But it's a thing that happens, and people take these cheaply made clothes with chemicals that are leaching out of them, and you just throw them away, and then they end up in a landfill. Like, we don't need to do that. There's already so much waste that's happening. So the fact that, anyways, the point is, the fact that you are contributing to this, I mean, is amazing. And I hope that you guys go super far with this. Seriously.
Thank you so much.
So, of course. Well, with that, I'd like to ask, 5 years from now, where do you see yourself and y'all's company? What legacy do you hope to leave behind?
That's a big question. So, because there is a lot that can happen in 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
With Masari Tech, you mean, or just in general?
I mean, whether it's in general, I mean, we can talk about Masari Tech first, and then kind of dive into general. It's up to you.
So I would say making Masari Tech big enough, make products used, and literally have an impact with promoting sustainability, because this is our main focus and our main cause, but also seeing our products being used by customers. Like customers are buying from our marketplace, are enjoying it, are having good experience. So I want to see that. And also definitely finishing my education. There is a chance that I will also get in or go and finish also my master's degree. I'm not sure, but it's something that could happen. You might see me move into SF. Yeah. I have a lot of ideas, and I love to usually and have a plan, not only for the next 5 years, I have planned for the next 20 years, but sometimes it's just not clear enough. Sometimes I will put paths that I might take.
Wow. So, I mean, how do you even get started doing from 20 years from now? Because I'm going to get stressed even planning out the next year, which is a lot, but.
I mean, it depends on the planner. There are planners that will take each category, your business, health, all that, and then put it into where do you see yourself in that category in 1 year, in 5 years, in 20 years. And obviously we'll have some bullet points. And then when it comes to the 20 years, you will only have 1 or 2. It's not that.
I see. I like that.
But you vision. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that actually. Might have to take a look at that, actually. So I have a couple of questions for you. I think questions that I wanted to do like this little hot takes and real talks thing, but we're just trying to try it out and see what works and what not. But I do want to ask, there's a lot of pressure on young entrepreneurs to quote unquote do it all. So especially when you go on social media, you see, I mean, these people kind of living the dream, quote unquote, doing their little incubators and going to accelerator programs and doing their marketing, whether that's through social media, building their product, just bootstrapping the whole thing and living on ramen and just living dreams and whatnot. Do you think this kind of pressure helps or it hinders innovation?
Generally, you as an entrepreneur starting out, you will have to do it all. Maybe I'm not a big fan of getting into multiple programs and there is no purpose. You should have a strategy why you would do that. You should also be patient, especially with time. I think a lot of young entrepreneurs try to achieve things quickly or move fast. I think you should take your time and be patient and just take it slowly. That's fine. And yeah, and I'm not a big fan of you do it all, but you should when you start out. And then when you have a strategy to be able to delegate, because you as the founder should focus on the 20% that will bring the 80% of the result. So yeah, you should have a strategy on that. Yeah.
Nice mention of the Pareto principle. Okay, well that makes sense actually. Like there has to come a point where you kind of, like you said, let go of the reins a little bit and delegate, because sometimes the thing can grow to an amount where you're actually quite useless doing everything. And I empathize with that because it's like between trying to figure out like social media stuff and coming up with like new content and coming up with questions and reaching and outreach and recording and interviewing, it's a lot. Like it is. And alhamdulillah, like I've reached a point where I'm like, okay, I just need to I figured out kind of what to delegate. It's just a matter of finding the right candidates to delegate, if that makes sense. But yeah, no, that totally makes sense. I think part of the strategy and part of the toughness of being a founder and being the boss or the CEO is figuring out who's the best person for the job. And acknowledging that, no, you can't do it all. But what you will do is find somebody who's really, really good at the thing you need to do and ask them to do it. That's how you do it. You can't do it all, right?
Yes.
Otherwise, it just becomes like an ego game. But yeah, no, seriously, thank you so much. I think I honestly learned a lot from your journey and everything. I think I'm really excited for y'all's project to come out, inshallah. I mean, I will definitely be following up in the future if you are open to that, like just to see where you are from this interview, from the next, because I think this is a super awesome journey to follow. And it's important because not only do you not see a lot of founders of color, but you especially don't see a lot of Muslim founders, right? So I think it's super important to kind of have that representation and also follow the journey of one. And I'm not saying this in a representation for the sake of representation, which honestly, I just don't feel like it's a thing, I think. But at the same time, it's like you have a different perspective. You have your own experiences and everything you're clearly bringing to the table. And it's clearly worked out because you've done the data-driven research, which is amazing. And again, something that we can all take from. It's not enough to just say, oh, I'm going to go and do this thing and spend hundreds and thousands of dollars on it. And if it doesn't work, I suck. No, you got to do the work. You got to do the homework. You got to know exactly what your target customer needs, what your target market is looking for. Otherwise, yeah, you are just spinning your wheels and you're going to spend lots more money and lots more time and a little more pain trying to figure that out than if you had just done the research and stuff. You don't have to go through all those little hiccups at the beginning. Now, not saying there won't be hiccups, but there'll probably be a lot less if you just do the homework.
Exactly. I agree.
Important lesson to learn. So thank you. I always have a closing question for my guests. And that question is, what is your favorite ayah from the Quran and how does it inspire you or influence your approach to your career, innovation, or your life?
So my favorite ayah is from Surah Al-Hadid. And it's He is you whenever you are. And that's it. Like, knowing that I can take risks and be fine with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's important. It's like, it's comforting because it's sometimes when you're going through things and you're just, you can feel almost alone. But knowing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is like here with us wherever, whenever, it's like, it's comforting because you know, okay, I'm not ever truly alone and I can do this. I can figure it out, especially if my Lord is behind me. So I really like that choice. That's a new one. I have not heard that. So that's amazing.
I said it's comforting, as you mentioned, just thinking about not only that, but also feeling it. I literally feel that. And that's why I'm comfortable.
I love that. That's so amazing. Thank you so much, Rukaiah. Like, seriously, it was an honor. It was so nice to be able to chat with you. Thank you for sharing your journey. Where can our audience find you and follow your journey?
Definitely on LinkedIn. I'm active there. So just follow me on LinkedIn and you'll be updated in everything.
I love that. Well, thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful day. And thank you so much for your time and your wonderful conversation. You know, I pray Allah puts barakah in your endeavors and just makes y'all a success, because I feel like what you're doing is really important. And I mean, definitely y'all like check her stuff out and give them their flowers and support, because I feel like this kind of stuff is important. You know, we need this. But yeah, thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum. And I hope you have a wonderful day.
You too. Bye.
Right. All right, so that is a wrap on today's episode of Muslimas in Motion. I hope you got something valuable out of this conversation. And if you did, don't keep it to yourself. Hit that subscribe button on your favorite podcast app, leave a quick rating and review, and share this episode with a friend who needs to hear it. It seriously helps more Muslims like you and me find the show. And if you want to keep the conversation going, come hang out with us on Instagram at Muslimas in Motion Pod for more gems, behind the scenes, and community discussions. We're also on TikTok, YouTube, and Threads. So follow along wherever you like to scroll. If you've got some thoughts on today's topic, maybe a career question, or maybe you just want to send some love, drop us a message or some fan mail. We might share your note in a future episode, wink wink. Link in the description. And before you go, please take a moment to make dua and pray for our brothers and sisters in Gaza, the Congo, and Sudan. If you're able, please consider donating. Those links are also in the description. Every little bit helps y'all. And we'll be back the week after next with another great episode. Until then, take care, stay in motion, and salam.